We are ready in your earwaves to talk to you.
You can't stop. You can't say earwaves. Airwaves. That's not how it works.
Hey, podcast listeners, it's Drew and Andy. Welcome to episode number 53 of the What's Up Casselberry podcast. We are excited to be in your earwaves today. That's right, wave upon wave of information and inspiration coming at you, right, Andy?
It is the sign of genius to make up words. And so earwaves, I think that's a new made up word from genius Drew, who has moved from telling dad jokes to making up words. What is next, Drew?
That's right. You know, the sky's the limit when it comes to our banter back and forth. We've got jokes, we've got made up words. Maybe next time we'll even have something of substance. Oh, no, wait, this is of substance. Folks, if you are a first time listener or been a part of us for a while now, over a year, Andy and I are Casselberry residents. We're pastors in the area. We're friends, and we love to inform and inspire you, tell you all things regarding Casselberry. And we've got our lovely producer, Robin, on the podcast. Hey, producer Robin.
Hello, gentlemen.
Robin is the one who helps us not crash to the floor, but aim to push the limits in the sky. So thank you, Robin.
You're welcome.
Exactly right. Well, Robin, let's just start off right here with our Community Member of the Month segment. We were together in person, right? We've been, because of the pandemic and other scheduling and whatnot, we have been apart for many months doing this podcast over the airwaves. I used the word correctly that time, via Zoom. But we had the chance for the three of us to get together and celebrate our Community Member of the Month, John Jones. And that was such a special time. What did you guys think about interacting with Mr. Jones there?
I could spend all day with John Jones. He's the kind of guy I want to be like when I get older, and if possible, before I get older, because he is so generous with his time. He is so gentle. He is so caring. And it is no surprise at all that he's been a successful leader in our community for so long. He just carries himself with such dignity and integrity and with care as well. And I loved every minute of those moments with John, and left feeling like a better person and inspired to become better and better. What about you, Robin? I believe that was your first time meeting John.
It was. He is such an inspiring man. Just his life story was so amazing and incredible. And the great thing is that it's not over yet. He has so much more to do and give, and it's just wonderful to be around him.
Yeah, absolutely. And just from a sort of a leadership, just character perspective that really touched me. And I, like you said, Andy, I hope to better my own life with picking up little tips and tricks. John, man, was he sharp in terms of remembering and in specific details about each of us. And I think that's such a skill to be able to connect with someone on a personal level, follow up, call them out by name, and speak to things that matter to the individual. So, Mr. Jones, thank you so much for your time with us. We enjoyed it immensely. We loved being able to celebrate him as a Community Member of the Month. And now, listener, we're turning our attention to you. We would love inquiries on future members of the month. We've heard back from some of you. We're clamoring to hear more. Let us know who you believe would be a worthy member of the month. That's someone who's serving, leading, participating in all of the things in Casselberry, really making a difference to make Casselberry a more peaceful and prosperous place to live. And so thank you, Mr. Jones, for your service. And we're excited to connect with others.
Drew, one of the things that struck me was that John just seemed genuinely grateful to receive this honor as well. We've come up with this award because we want to celebrate people. But despite all of his significant accomplishments in his life, he genuinely seemed humbled to be honored by us. And that was in turn very humbling as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, that great note. That was really, really special. Well, hey, speaking of people who have been recognized and received awards, our Casselberry in the News segment, we had the opportunity to see on a website, orlandoweekly.com, that last week was Hamburger Week in Orlando. Andy, Robin, did you guys participate in Hamburger Week? I did not.
I had a veggie burger.
Oh, there we go. That works.
That's like a half-hearted engagement. I think I probably had a hamburger, but I didn't know it was Hamburger Week. Does that count?
Sure. That's every week could be Hamburger Week to somebody.
I mean, if Robin can slide a veggie burger in under the Hamburger Week banner, then I can say I probably did without intentionality.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Well, the OrlandoWeekly.com did a big survey in which they asked 30 local restaurants to come in and provide a specialty burger. And they obviously they made more than one burger, and participants and burger connoisseurs could come in and taste test these 30 different burgers representing 30 local restaurants. And believe it or not, the winner of this contest was from our very own Casselberry. Alex's Fresh Kitchen in Casselberry, located right on 436 near the new Wawa. They won the award for the Mama Tribute Burger. And Andy, and this is going to make your mouth water, I'm going to read the ingredients on the Alex's Fresh Kitchen Mama Tribute Burger. It includes Angus beef brisket and beef chuck blended with 24 spices, topped with fried jalapenos, hot fried pickles, garlic aioli, butter lettuce, Gouda cheese, all on a toasted brioche bun. Man,
that doesn't sound like the kind of burger that my mama made, but congratulations on that Mama Burger Award. You know, Drew, Robin, and as we're talking about this, I'm thinking, we've got our Community Member of the Month Award. Maybe we need some kind of Casselberry Foodie Award that we could start. And so all we need, restaurateurs, is for you to invite us to your restaurant and feed us each day, and you could win the What's Up Casselberry Food Award.
I'm in. I definitely think we need to make this a thing. If you know somebody who manages a local restaurant, reach out to us. Let us know. We'd love to highlight them and enjoy some delicious foods. And of course, as Andy said, for free. That'd be great.
But huge congratulations to Alex's Kitchen. I have never been, but I have heard great things about it and plan to go just very, very soon. It's always good to support local, and especially good to support local when local is good. And this is now an award-winning burger that grabbed my appetite.
Absolutely. Andy, maybe take Tracy there for a little brunch. I know their brunch is very good, and you guys should take a picture and post it on our social media feed at Alex's Fresh Kitchen. I had brunch there before, and it was very good. All right. And we will be back with our very special guest. Today's sponsor is We Insure. We Insure cares for your insurance needs, whether it be your home, auto, or business. Josh Hinkle is our local We Insure agent, and he and his wife Kelly serve Casselberry, Winter Springs, and the surrounding area. We Insure serves as an active member of the Casselberry Chamber of Commerce and are committed to excellent customer service. I'll tell you, listener, my wife, Becky, and I have personally benefited from the work of Josh and the We Insure team. Contact Josh Hinkle with We Insure for all of your insurance needs at 321-422-3255. Thanks, We Insure.
Welcome back, listeners, to our favorite part of the show, where we stop talking about us and we talk about people much more interesting. And today we have as a guest one of the most interesting people I know in our county. Not only is she a great leader who leads Leadership Seminole that influences many folks in our county, she is a good friend who I have a tremendous amount of respect for and who has influenced me in my leadership and lots of other ways. We are thrilled to welcome Dawn Kraus, president of Leadership Seminole, to the podcast today. Welcome, Dawn.
Thank you, Andy, and thank you for those kind words. Much appreciated.
Hi, Dawn. We're so glad to have you here and get to know you. Dawn, to get us started, help us understand a little bit about you and your family in regards to what you do when you're not super busy with Leadership Seminole and other places. Where is a place that you enjoy visiting in Seminole County?
Well, I do, but let me start by saying I am a mother of 7 children. So life is very busy and we do a lot together still.
Wonderful.
So that's what is a blessing because they're all grown, but we still enjoy each other's company. So I think that's a wonderful thing in itself. I would say in Seminole County specifically, love all the parks and walkways. We love being outdoors. And so anytime we have an opportunity to do something together outside, it's always fun. Love the waterfront in Sanford. And because I love the water, we love going to the beach. So if we can't go to the beach, the next best thing, we can enjoy walking along the waterway and also enjoy lunch and shopping in downtown Sanford. So those are some fun things that we do together.
I certainly agree, Dawn, that there are some great trails in Seminole County. And one of my favorite things to do if I get some free time is to go and explore some more. I've lived in Seminole County a long time and continue to keep finding some fun trails. But Dawn, we're here to talk about Leadership Seminole. And I went through the class and have been part of the organization for several years now. And after that, it's amazing that everywhere I go, I meet people who are connected with Leadership Seminole. Either they're an alumni or they're going through the class or they want to go through the class, but they have been influenced in some way by the work that you do at Leadership Seminole. But at the same time, I understand there are folks in our community who may not know what Leadership Seminole is about. So could you tell us about the program and what Leadership Seminole is?
Absolutely. So Leadership Seminole was founded in 1993 in partnership with Seminole Community College, as it was known back then, all the local chambers, as well as business leaders. And it was modeled after other nationwide leadership programs with the goal of connecting them to the Seminole County region. We do this through a 10-month educational experience. So the class goes through every month. There's a specific topic, such as government session, there's economic development, education, human services, law and justice, etc. And they do a deep dive into that subject in the community. What I love is that people who have lived in Seminole County their whole life learned so much and had no idea that some of these programs and some of the facilities even exist. So we're always learning, right? Even the sheriff went through the program Class 15, and he said that it helped him learning all about Seminole County back 15 years ago when he was in Class 15, which actually was 15 years ago, as he was a captain. He said it better prepared him to be our sheriff today. So no better testimonial than that, I can say. And we also have a lot of people who just stay involved with us, and they stay involved because of the experience. People love to know that they can get the behind the scenes experience. They get exposed to top leaders. So not only are you exposed to leaders in your class, but you could be exposed to leaders who were visiting, who maybe you don't get the opportunity to have that one-on-one experience with, say, Superintendent Walt Griffin or one of the mayors or the president of UCF. Well, whoever it is, it's an opportunity that many people don't get. And I would say the biggest feedback that I receive is that class members form lifelong friendships and lasting business connections. I can say I went through Class 20, and to this day, some of my strongest relationships are my friendships with my class members. And for my job before I became president of Leadership Seminole, it helped me so much with my job with those business connections. And of course, now in this role, it definitely helps. So just a great experience. I recommend everyone going through the program. Always excited to talk about it because the value is there for everyone.
I love that, Dawn. And so clearly a holistic view of the county, kind of going in, I use the word behind the scenes is really, really fascinating. If, let's say, talking about myself, Andy's been through it, I have not. I were interested, what would be kind of just the practical steps and what would you hope as the coordinator of Leadership Seminole that I would ultimately be able to walk away with?
Well, I think you'd walk away with the experience that you are surrounded by like-minded individuals who are coming together for a general purpose of community improvement. So I always say that people who are involved with Leadership Seminole are there for a reason. They're there because they believe in organizations and groups of individuals throughout multiple industry who want to get together, who want to work together and even make it a better place than it already is. So it's exciting when you hear that there's so many people alike that have that same passion for their community.
So Dawn, just to dig a little bit deeper, Drew mentioned, behind the scenes. Now, I know that Leadership Seminole has a very small staff, but that you make a big difference. And the reason you make a big difference is because you work with so many volunteers. But we all know that working with volunteers isn't always easy. How do you do it? What are some of the strengths and weaknesses of working with so many volunteers?
Well, for Leadership Seminole, it's a blessing that we have so many engaged volunteers that support our efforts. Over the course of the year, hard to believe that we interact with over 300 active volunteers, whether it's through board service, maybe participating on our executive council, or serving on various committees. Could be the class session planning or the events. We have so many committees. So if we did not have that support, we wouldn't be as successful as we are today. We really rely on the collaboration of community members. On the other side of that, the hardest thing about working with volunteers is managing all their incredible ideas. These community leaders are business owners, industry experts, and as you can imagine, basically type A personalities. So everyone has a whole lot to offer. So I think we as a very small team need to be very organized and intentional about the priorities that we focus on first. But I have to say, overall, a very nice problem to have.
It certainly is. And getting just to be able to walk side by side with some real movers and shakers. Dawn, you play an important role in the Leadership Seminole program as a whole. Of the many accomplishments within Leadership Seminole itself, what's something that you would like to highlight, let our listeners know that you're extremely proud of?
Well, I think overall, I'm most proud of the reputation that Leadership Seminole has, not only in Seminole County, but in the Central Florida area. It is so rewarding for me to go somewhere and say, oh my gosh, I love that program. Everyone says I should go through that, or I'm going to go through that, or I went through that and it was the best experience I ever had, best leadership program around. And it's beginning to extend that message through the various counties, surrounding counties where, people, I get them from Daytona Beach, I want to come through your program, tell me more, how can I get engaged? So we really are spreading that message of leadership, of community involvement and engagement. And so that is so exciting for me. And of course, my goal is to continue to grow and to be recognized nationally as a leading premier leadership program. I'm involved with a lot of organizations nationally that do leadership programs, and we're working together and kind of looking at best practices across the board. So we're just getting some positive responses about what we're doing. So I want to continue to grow that. I also feel that building our legacy, right? That is the most important thing, to leave a legacy for everyone. On day one, we just had orientation a couple weeks ago. I asked each class member, what will your legacy be? It is our hope that they become inspired and find passion to improve the community through one of their experiences at Leadership Seminole. That is how we continue to grow our legacy.
One phrase that is often before me, Dawn, is the understanding that a rising tide lifts all boats, right? And I think that Leadership Seminole is one of these organizations that helps all leaders in all sections of our society, rise and get better. And I think you do an incredible job of that. But maybe not everybody knows that the program is also very philanthropic, and that you do a lot to give back in tangible ways to our county. In fact, my class was known as the $1 million class, not because we raised $1 million, because we raised a little bit of $1 million that took us over that total. Can you tell us about some of those community service projects that Leadership Seminole has done and the difference that they make?
So actually, since your class graduation, the number is actually close to $1.3 million in support of nonprofits in Seminole County and over 18,000 volunteer hours. So we're really excited that we're able to help others. We are a 501c3 ourselves, but to be able to give back, to have leaders come and say, we want to make a difference elsewhere, is pretty powerful. So Leadership Seminole has built in a service component to our program. So the class gets together, they decide what nonprofit they would like to support, and then they get in there, sweat equity, fundraising, do whatever they can to raise money and change. It might be maybe Boys and Girls Club in Altamont Springs was my project in Class 20, where we actually had a lot of individuals who did in-kind donations, went in there and tore apart the kitchen on the floor, the cabinets, and redid everything, bathrooms. So it's really about making those differences. I think fundraising is great, but I think they like to get in there, do some painting, maybe refurbish the outside of the grounds and just make a difference. So we have really made an impact in so many organizations, Crossroads, Corral, the Sharing Center, Boys Town, Hope Helps, Boys and Girls Club, as I mentioned, and the list goes on and on. So by working together on a legacy project or doing that community service, it makes a lasting impact on our region. And again, this adds to our legacy because it's all about that. So last year, Class 29 was not able to complete their project due to COVID. And so Class 30 just began this month, and they've asked Class 30 to join them in their efforts. So they are raising awareness and funding for the Advent Health Hope and Healing Center hosted at the Seminole County Sheriff's Office. That is such a big need. It's based around the opioid addiction and helping people recover. Too many times we see people going in the jail that really haven't committed a big offense besides having an addiction. So they are going to offer that kind of counseling treatment in the hopes that people can recover, get their lives back, and then we won't see that recidivism rate happening again over and over in the jails. So critical need in the community. Collectively, they're going to be doing a few different fundraising efforts, but one of the exciting things they're doing on April 10th, I want to say, at one of the Sanford hangars is they're doing a Seminole Showdown. And so former Mayor Matt Morgan, the commissioner now, he is going to get in the ring. He was a former WWE fighter, and he is getting in the ring with our supervisor of elections, Chris Anderson, and they are going to go toe-to-toe. And I think there's a lot of other people going to be there. I'm not really clear, but they are going to fundraise. It's going to be a fabulous event. And so be looking for that on our website or on our Facebook page because it's pretty exciting.
That's amazing. Andy, we just might have gotten an exclusive insider's information on an upcoming event in our county. Don, we've had Chris Anderson on our program before, and what a delight. He seems like a big teddy bear to me, but maybe he'll have to get riled up to fight Matt Morgan.
He was in our class last year, so he was in Class 29, and so he volunteered to kind of coordinate this. We also have Ben Paris, who is going to be involved as well. And between Matt Morgan and Ben Paris, there's like a couple feet difference, I think, in size, so maybe a foot and a half. So interesting if they're both going to be in the ring.
I love that. With the common goal, clearly, of what's been communicated is to make the place in which we live better. And you've used the word legacy multiple times. Obviously, this podcast, by our name, is designed to communicate and inspire those in our community of Casselberry and the surrounding area. Casselberry's been well represented in Leadership Seminole, both with alumni like Andy and others, but also is a destination on some of your class days. Could you let our listeners know when you all come to Casselberry? Not necessarily when, but what do you see? What do you point out there? And what do you appreciate about our community?
So we are always so grateful for the warm welcome we receive on Arts and Culture Day when we go to the Art House. Fortunately, this year with COVID, we're unable to go there. But of course, the team there is going above and beyond and bringing the art supplies to us. So we will be at the zoo that day, and they are going to bring all the supplies and let the class do their art project there. So really appreciate the extra TLC that they're giving to the class and making sure that they can experience that. Usually we do go, and it's called Arts in Public Places, and kind of walk around City of Casselberry, City Hall, really get to appreciate some of that space, which next year, hopefully we'll be able to continue on with that. But there's so many other areas that Leadership Seminole receives support from the City of Casselberry, starting with the police chief. So on Law and Justice Day, the police chief of Casselberry will join the other chiefs in the different cities, bring along one of the vehicles that they use, and participate in that day. Casselberry also participates in Government Day, which is tomorrow. Commissioner Anthony Armendia speaks on the role of the city commissioner or council person, depending on the city. And it's so important that people understand how the local government works, because until you go through the program, you think you know, and you learn so much more about local government. Maybe one city operates one way, one a different way, how they choose their mayor. I mean, you really get to learn a whole lot about that. And then finally, our board of directors is fortunate enough to have all 7 mayors sit on our board. So we have Mayor David Henson represented currently on our board, and he's also in Class 30, our current leadership class. So we really do have a lot of involvement from the city.
And it's interesting, Dawn, every time I go to one of the city commission meetings here in Casselberry, which I do quite frequently, they always have a place on their agenda to give a Leadership Seminole update. And it always, they do. And it always impresses me. I think I'm part of that when they ask about that. So
that's fantastic.
That's another strong connection that pulls our community together. You know, as I reflect on Leadership Seminole, I think one of the things that you and we do so well is that we connect leadership together, right? It's almost like we see the county working as a body. You know, we got our arms and our legs and, you know, our joints and things like that, but we all need each other in order to function well and function in a healthy way. In these times where we're kind of coming out, hopefully, of some division, why do you think it's so important that leaders are connected and that leaders work together and that leaders don't operate in silos?
Well, I think we know that silos just don't work, right? It cuts off the communication and the collaboration. We don't get the messaging. If we're all working in our own silos, we don't have the overall vision of the organization. So I do think that is a challenge. We need to go back to that communication, to that transparency, building relationships, and just working towards common goals and communicate often. I think that's how we improve and work and grow.
Dawn, as you are really in a position to be a leader of leaders, what are some of the traits that you would share in regards to how you kind of see your own personal leadership style?
Yeah, so I think Andy knows this too. I feel integrity and character are the most important thing a person can possess. So we want to be true to ourselves. The person I am at work, at home, in my community is the same person. You know, I don't change. I know there's some people who, you know, put on different hats and different roles, but I am the same person. It's all about my integrity is the most important thing. I believe in clear communication and consistency in messaging. I think we have to be transparent and make sure that we're all on the same page. Sometimes we can assume in the days of social media that we have that messages and some of these other messaging that we're all on the same page. Not necessarily, as we all know. We learned that we have to be very clear on what we want to say. And then I think being positive and enthusiastic. I mean, that's me. And I'll share with you, years ago, I went through a personality test. You have to choose that ends up telling you your 5 biggest characteristics of yourself. And so my number 1 was woo. And I'm like, woo? Who wants to be a woo? That doesn't sound very good. I want to be like strategic, and I want to be an arranger and a mission driven. And the second one was positivity. And I'm like, so now I'm a woo, I'm a positive woo. What does that mean? But it actually is good because for Leadership Seminole, I need to be positive. My role is to recruit individuals and get them excited about the program. So for me, I think it was an advantage being a woo. So now I'm a proud woo.
Dawn, just a couple of questions to wrap up. If you were to describe the state of leadership in our county, how would you describe it?
So I think we're so fortunate in Seminole County. I think the key word is collaboration. So we know, learning about the cities, that they work so closely together, taking ego out of everything. If there's an emergency, there's no boundaries, there's no emergency management. They will go, the closest person will go and be at the incident. So, I mean, I think just knowing that there's that conversation happening through Leadership Seminole in one of our vision conferences in the past, meeting of mayors and managers. And so we know that they are talking all the time and working together. So it's about building relationships, building trust, because once you have that trust, you're able to do better things together in the community.
Absolutely. We need each other. Collaboration is such an important part of who we want to be and who we need to be. And Leadership Seminole is at the center of a lot of those collaborative relationships. And so thank you for taking us there. Dawn, if people want to know more about the program, How do they find out about it?
So you can always go to our website, which is leadershipseminole.org. You can go through and look at all our upcoming events, which a lot of them are Zoom right now, and you're all welcome to participate. There's also information on the next class. You can look at the application, what's required, and hopefully make that decision to join us. You also can go to our Facebook page, Leadership Seminole, facebook.com/Leadership Seminole, and learn all about our programs. We try to put everything that we do on Facebook and let everyone know that we are trying to grow in the community, kind of extend our reach. And so we would love for your listeners to get involved with us and join the class.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for that. And I hope that some folks will listen and that the words of wisdom and collaboration that you've shown will pique some interest in the class. Dawn, thank you so much for being our guest today. But beyond that, thank you so much for all the ways that you lead within our county. We appreciate you, and we appreciate the way that you lead leaders. It really is making a difference.
Wow. Thank you, Don Kraus. It's so enjoyed our conversation with you, learning all about Leadership Seminole. Leaders in our community are essential, and we are so thankful for you and your work in helping develop kind of the next generation of leaders. Andy, you've been a part of that class. I know you've picked up a ton in regards to leadership, and part of leadership is inspiring and moving us out into the week ahead. So would you inspire us with a closing quote?
Thank you, Drew. Yes, our quote of the week comes from Albert Einstein, one of the heavy hitters of intellect and academia. He says this: creativity is intelligence having fun. Creativity is intelligence having fun. And the thing that struck me about this is that in our culture today, we put so much weight on intelligence. And honestly, that's really important. It's important that we stay focused, that we do our jobs, that we excel, that we get better, that we keep learning, that we keep on track, those kind of things. But we're also living in a world where there is so much to pioneer, so much to explore. And when we point that intelligence in a different direction, we can be really creative people. Einstein says creativity is intelligence having fun. I think, listener, as I look at this quote today, I want to encourage you this week to be creative. We got to do what we got to do. We got to pay the bills. We got to work hard. We got to keep growing. That's all good. But find a moment to be creative. And in that creativity, we trust that you will have some fun. Creativity, said Einstein, is intelligence having fun.
Absolutely. Thank you, Andy, for that good word and encouragement. I am going to creatively close out our podcast today. Folks, we hope you have enjoyed your time with us. We've enjoyed talking with you. If you would like to follow up with us, we'd love to hear from you with any questions, comments. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, our podcast feed, or our website, all with the name. Just search What's Up Casselberry. Leave us a like and a review. We want to thank producer Robin for her involvement and her time in making us sound better than we actually are. Until we join you next week, we hope you have a great week.